Hi, Eric. Ted Johnson. Thanks again for letting me talk with you today about our mobile apps for fishing guides and then also the other project that you have going. I took a few minutes real quick and put together kind of a mock-up of maybe what an application could look like for you. All of our mobile applications are custom designed based on your business and the needs of your business and then using your graphics and that sort of thing. So there's not two that look the same. What I've done on this application, I've just taken some photos off your website and have them rolling through. These photos can be exchanged out at any time by you or me. It's fairly easy to do if you know how to upload JPEG files and that sort of thing. So again, I've just taken 5 photos off of your website. Probably the placement of the logo is in the best position. We'd move that around a little bit, but it gives us an idea of what it can look like. At the bottom, we have 2 hotkeys. We've got a call us hotkey and a share hotkey. The call us button is pretty self-explanatory. You simply hit that button and then it dials the number that's plugged into the application, probably your cell phone or the assistant that you have, and that will automatically dial them into that number so they can start talking to you about booking a trip. The share button is kind of unique in that it's tied into all the social media sites. And so you can hit the share button and you can encourage people to hit the share button, and it will then go onto their Facebook news feed. It'll go into Twitter and encourage their friends and people that are following them to also download your application. And this is how the application can grow virally out there. Across the bottom, we have a series of tabs. In this case, I've put down here a Book Us tab, a Photos tab, a Fishing Reports, and a Meet Me. Meet Me is a GPS direction identifier for meeting people at certain places on the river. And it's really pretty cool. We put it in via address or Latin long and put in photos of the ramps and that sort of thing. And when you're going to meet somebody, you can just simply hit the Meet Me button, select the ramp that you want to meet them at, and it'll give them turn-by-turn directions. And I'll get into that in just a second. If I go to the Book a Trip tab, what it does is it brings up a form. These forms are all custom done. We put in custom fields and then custom drop downs and that sort of thing, so people can come in and fill out their name, what they want to fish for, when do they want to fish for. There's a comment section down below. On this mock-up, it's tough to scroll this screen, but it does scroll on down. And again, this form is set up custom for you. The indications then, or the notifications, come not only to your email, but they're also text messaged to you, and then you can respond promptly that way. The Photos tab, I noticed on your website that you divide out your photos by the guides that you have. And so in this case, I've taken just some photos and I've dropped them in here. And here's some photos for Matt Hartley. This may or may not be Matt. I don't know. This could even be you. I don't know what you look like. But anyway, it's sort of a Rolodex scrolling feature here. It'll scroll between the different photos. And again, on the mock-up, it's kind of tough to show you when I'm cutting a video, but this scrolls through in a really neat fashion. If you like a picture, you can double-click on it with your finger and it brings it up and it's a little larger. So anyway, you can put in as many photos as what you like. We will load the system with photos for you and then help you maintain that. Fishing Reports is a way that you can utilize the push messaging system of the application. I don't have any in here right now because it doesn't let me push message anything that's truly not an application. But this is where you go in and say, hey, the water's warm, but we figured out a way to start, filling the boat full of salmon. We have some spots next week on Monday and Tuesday. Please give us a call. And that push message then goes out to everybody that has the application on their phone. You almost get 100% readership on it, and then it goes over the top of anything they're looking at. This is where those messages are archived in the application also, so they can go back and look at older messages. Again, here's the Meet Me function. The Meet Me function is all based on the GPS system within the phone. You have 3 different categories of where you can meet people. In this case, I'm showing you something we've set up for a guide in Idaho. So he meets people on the Clearwater, on the Snake, and then on the Columbia. All of those then are color coded. You can pick one of the waypoints here. It'll bring up a little description. Yep, that's where I'm going to meet them. I click here. It brings in a larger description, and then I can hit the directions button, and I get a turn-by-turn then directions from where I'm at to meet the guide. I don't know how many times you guys have missed people looking for you and spent half hour, 45 minutes, maybe even a couple hours trying to hook up with somebody. You can put as many waypoints in here as what you want, and it's really kind of a neat function. If I hit the More button, it goes to another menu system behind the scenes, and this is where I can put in a lot more functionality. Back here I have What Our Clients Say, which is a testimonial system that's tied directly into Facebook. When somebody comes in here and clicks on this dialogue button, it automatically lights up their Facebook, and so anything they put here as a testimony will then show up on their Facebook account. So it's really pretty cool the way that works. I also have our videos. We can tie this in directly into YouTube, your YouTube videos. You can watch the YouTube videos on the application. Our guides is where you can then list the guides and list their bios and that sort of thing. What we fish for. This is a fish identifier system. Remember, as we talked, I try to make the application more of a tool that people will use throughout the year as they're fishing and that sort of thing. And so I've just put in 3 different species of fish: salmon, freshwater, and sturgeon. You can put in all sorts of different, or we can put in all sorts of different types of species of fish. If I click on salmon, and then it drops down into the Chinook and coho. I've put them in both in the Chrome version and in the spawning version. If I click on, let's say, Chinook up here, it brings a larger picture of the Chinook that will give me a way to identify the fish I just caught, and then a little description down below. So again, it's really pretty cool the way it works. People will use this over and over again. If maybe they're fishing the upper Columbia and they catch a walleye and they're wondering, what in the world is this? They can go to their fish identifier, go to the freshwater fish section, and then they can identify the walleye. Down here also I have 2015 sportsman shows. Every year we can show you, or we can load them up, the system up with all the sportsman shows that you're going to. It'll give people the dates and times of those shows, directions on how to get there, what booth you're in, and that sort of thing. So that works pretty well. We can tie this in directly into a newsletter system. In this case, I'm asking for a little bit of detail, and people can hit the join button, and then they're automatically put on your email list, and that happens automatically. We also have down here submit photos. How many times have you been out with somebody and they've got a better photo than you, and you'll go, gosh, I'd love to have that on my website. Will you send it to me? And they go, oh, yeah. And then that photo never comes in. Well, in this case, if they're taking photos with their phone and they have the application, you can just simply say, hey, light up the application, hit the submit a photo button, and then they can select from the camera roll that'll show up down here, and that photo will automatically then be emailed to you. And it's a great way for you to get those pictures that you're missing. We also have Oregon fishing regulations. I guess it's 2015 now. I copied an old version of this, and then here are all the different sections that are in PDF files. So again, how many of your clients would love to have not only the Oregon, but the Washington synopsis on their phone and kept up to date. Lastly, in this case, we have a fish weight calculator. The fish weight calculator is where you can go in and put in the length of the fish, the girth of the fish. It'll then calculate out the weight of the fish in pounds. They can take a photo of that fish. It's then stored with the GPS location of where they took that photo, which is theoretically, in most cases where they caught the fish. And then they can put their email address in, send it to themselves and archive it. They can send it to a fishing buddy. There's a lot of things that you can do with that. Some of the other functions that I don't have on this particular mock-up but are available is a link directly into Facebook and other social media. We have a recipes tab. I think we have almost close to 80 recipes now in the system. So if if they're trying to figure out another way that they can cook salmon, or maybe they haven't cooked sturgeon in the past, they can then go in and look at the recipes there. You can go in and add your own recipes if you'd like to. It's really pretty easy to do. We give you full access to the back end of this, which means that you can send out then all the push messaging on your own. There's training videos, and I spend time with you or your assistant showing you how to use this. Everything in here is pretty much accessible to you in regards to making changes to content and that sort of thing. It's a pretty cool system the way that we have it set up. So anyway, I'll conclude there, but this is the quick little mock-up that I said I'd send to you. Love to talk with you this next coming week and get your thoughts on this. Have a great weekend. Hope you have tight lines and you're filling the boat with fish. Talk to you later. Bye now.